Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the lineup last night. Kristaps Porzingis checked in 25 points, 13 rebounds for Boston, but it was really rookie Baylor Shireman that stole the show, guys, scoring 13 of his career-high 20 points in the fourth quarter. The Creighton standout hit 3 threes in the fourth before leaving the court with a capitalizing on his opportunity. Checking up a lot of threes hadn't been a winning formula until last year Celtics won the title. Before that, none of the teams in the top 8 in NBA history in threes attempts had won a championship. This year's Celtics are on pace to set a record for threes attempted in a season. Mad Dog. The Celtics' reliance on threes, is this sustainable?
Well, they've won a championship, so it is sustainable. They won last year. Porzingis shoots threes, too. Now you bring in the Creighton kid, Shire. He shoots threes. We know Tatum, Brown, certainly Hauser. Horford. I mean, Derek White. But to me, as a basketball fan, I need some balance. They shot 63s the other day. I can't watch a game when they're coming down the court doing nothing but hoisting threes. Have a little balance. The NBA, to me, Steve might disagree, but the NBA has to address this. It's too much three-point shooting. It's too much of a – if everybody in baseball is striking out and trying to hit home runs, you try to get it corrected where you can get the ball in play, vary the game. I think the NBA, in a lot of ways, Steve, has to do the same thing. Your thoughts, Jim?
They do. We just need to understand why they went this route to begin with. You don't want the game to slow and be methodical when an audience is telling you they're craving something different. And that's what we have to take into consideration. And so because of that, again, I get where you're coming from. And for the most part, I agree with you. Slight modifications should be the order of the day. But you can't worry about threes. It's about how the threes are taken. Like, for example, Molly and Doggy. If you're dribbling the ball and taking contested threes, no, you don't want to see that. But if there's movement of the basketball and there's the fluidity that takes place and all of a sudden you kick it and you hit it to somebody that's open and they shoot a three, then there's nothing wrong with that because that's within the flow and the movement of the game. It's not being compromised. You don't want to see somebody out there just dancing and dribbling and taking contested threes. That is not attractive. That's not all, nor is it efficient. Okay. But if you're moving the basketball and your spacing is there and you're giving opportunities for cats to hit open threes, that's not something we should mind.
The objective's to win the game.
I understand.
There's quarterbacks that dink and dunk. If they win, if it works for them, you can join the governor and cry.
Funny.
We're going to break. More First Take after this quick break. Come on back.
The other game that Golden State just lost as well. That's another 8 seed. So you're looking at teams that's fighting to get down to the 6 seed where they don't have to fight for their postseason lives, opposed to a team that's been number 1 all year. That by all accounts that's probably still going to have the number 1 seed coming out of the East. So 2 different scenarios, 2 different places in your seasons, and it shows in the effort. These guys in the Clippers uniforms, they know that it's time to roll, and we got to put ourselves in the best scenario possible going into this postseason run. You don't want to look the play-in down a barrel and fight for it and possibly lose a game, and now you're out. Opposed to having the 6 seed where you can go a 7-game series and give yourself a real chance to compete in the playoffs. So you're looking at 2 different scenarios. I wouldn't overreact to this if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, but this is a bad time to kind of start reeling a little bit. Like you want to have momentum going in, knowing that you're still the team to beat in the Eastern Conference, but you don't want to go into it like this. But I wouldn't look too much into it.
I don't know, Lou. It just feels like it's over.
Yeah. And I'll say games like this for the Clippers, when you go up against a team that's had such a great historic year, this is that gives you the confidence boost to know that you can play with anybody, you can beat anybody. You look at the stat sheet last night. Kawhi Leonard, he's back. He looks great. He looks healthy. He's getting to his spots. He looks like vintage Kawhi Leonard. Zubac, 28-20. He's having a career year. We kind of gave him his flowers a couple of weeks ago, just having an all-time, one of his best years of his career. He's been so consistent. He's available. They got Norman Powell back, who's arguably been their best most consistent player all year long until he went down. And James Harden, he's just been there. He's been the same guy that he's always been, just getting everyone involved, getting a bucket when needed. And Bogdanovic, he's another guy, we didn't really talk about that trade deadline move. He's a guy who can come off the bench. He can absolutely shoot the ball really efficient from outside, and he can go get you 20, 25 points off the bench. So this team did show something last night that it's a scary matchup. This is a scary matchup for a young Thunder team where they have to go through all these vet experienced guys in the first round, possibly the playoffs. That's not ideal.
That's actually, it's never too early to look ahead, but that's the interesting thing. If Kawhi and Harden are this, I mean, how much damage can this Clippers team really do come playoff time?
I think they can do a lot. I think, listen, if they stay healthy and they play like they did last night, where they're defending, they're getting production from their bench, they're getting out in transition, they're shooting a high clip from the three, this team has a great balance, and they can do it all. And Zubac has been, like I said, he's been so important with his size, his versatility, the way he's defending pick and rolls. He has been so important for them all year long. And now you're starting to see Kawhi Leonard get his confidence, his legs back. Norman Powell, who missed time, he's back in the lineup. So this team kind of seems to be peaking at the right time. They've now won 4 straight, and they're fully healthy. I think obviously that's a huge piece in the season. And I mean, just watch these clips. Kawhi Leonard looks like he's doing things he was doing in San Antonio and Toronto. So this is going to be a dangerous team come playoff time.
That was weird body language on Cleveland's part. That was a little odd. All right, maybe they've been in LA for a minute.
That happens.
They could have been tired. Maybe there was some fun.
Who knows? But it's never been about talent with the Clippers. Like, they've always had a talented team. It's always been about their health. Now they're starting to get their guys back, starting to have consecutive games where everybody is in the lineup. That's what makes this team dangerous. Everybody is available, and everybody is going to play at a high clip. You know what James Harden is going to do. You know what Kawhi Leonard is going to do. But the caveat to all of that is Norman Powell has been the guy that's been the go-to guy all season long. And so once you have all of these guys back in the lineup, you add Bogey to that as well. Zucci Mane is having a great year as well. Like, they have a lot of different pieces. Listen, I want to show some love to Chris Dunn as well.
Okay.
For somebody who's always been trying to find a home in his NBA career, this looks good on him with the Clippers. He's aggressive on the defensive end. He's knocking down shots. He's turned into a viable 3-and-D guy for the Clippers. They got a lot of great pieces. Like Kent Chandler just said, they're peaking at the right time, but they got a great identity, and they're moving forward.
It was Zucci Bane's birthday yesterday. Did you wish him a happy?
I did, yes.
Look at that.
Of course.
Lose the best. We got to take a quick break. On the other side, Joe Johnson joins us on Run It Back.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and you would play with him and Paul Pierce when you were 20 years old. He was talking about how they basically partied every night, whether it was besides Utah and Indiana or something. What was it like for 20-year-old Joe Johnson playing with guys like him and Paul Pierce?
Man, it was inspirational, bro. I grew up watching Twan play because he played at Kentucky, and I'm an SEC guy, University of Arkansas. And he was one of those big dudes who loved to handle the ball. I think his best attribute was probably passing. And getting to play with, and he had a great feel for the game, and then getting a chance to play with Paul, who was still young in his career. He had just signed a max contract my rookie year for like $96 million. Paul Pierce did. I think it was like his 5th year in the league. So he was a different type of Paul Pierce. He was a young, arrogant Paul Pierce. You know what I mean?
Could you have survived playing more than one season with those guys, or it would have got dicey?
Nah, it was short-lived, bro. It was only 6 months into my rookie season. I got traded right after All-Star break, but that's one situation I think could have turned out pretty good. But once what I didn't understand as a rookie, man, once you develop a little value for yourself in this league, they kind of put you on the shelf so they could trade you. Because I went from starting to just riding the bench for like